Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the programme. Hope you're well. Now, coming up on the programme tonight, Sharon Cook is an NHS worker from Lincoln. Now, this was her 2 weeks ago, recovering from coronavirus in a hospital bed.
Just struggling, really, to breathe. If somebody would have just given me an injection to put me down, I'd have taken it.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Today, she's at home and she had this to say.
I've been home for over a week and it's the first full day that I think that I feel kind of back to normal.
Of course, we'll hear more from Sharon in a moment, but tonight I'm asking if you've had coronavirus and are recovering from it, how has it affected you? Maybe it's still affecting you. Your stories, if you've got it or had it. If you want to be in touch, we'll have some on the programme tonight. You can email in or follow me on Twitter and tweet now. Also this evening, with at least another 3 weeks of restrictions, what does it mean for businesses and those out of work? And the communities helping each other get through the coronavirus restrictions. Abby Dewhurst, good evening to you.
Hello there, Peter. With the exception of a couple of showers tomorrow, the outlook is a dry one. I'll have a more detailed forecast in about 15 minutes.
Yes, her video has been watched around the world. It shows NHS employee Sharon Cook struggling to breathe as she fights coronavirus in Lincoln County Hospital. She pleads with people to stay at home to save lives. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. Sharon is now home, recovering well, and she's spoken to Joe Makel about her ordeal.
I'm so much better. I've been home for over a week and it's the first full day that I think that I feel kind of back to normal. Still can't really do a lot. Still a bit no energy, but I'm so much better than I was.
Why did you decide to make that video?
I don't know. I've never done anything like it before, but I was looking at the press reports of people still socialising at that time. And I was so ill and I'd felt so ill. I just thought, I'd just let people know it's just not worth it. And you would never want to be in the situation I was in.
If somebody would have just given me an injection to put me down, I'd have taken it. It was awful.
I know that's dramatic, but that's how ill I felt. And it's horrible. You wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's awful.
Do you know how you got it?
No idea. We've all racked our brains. Nobody I know has got it. Nobody has been properly diagnosed with it. Lots of people think they might have had it, but they haven't had an official diagnosis. My husband, my sons, nobody has had it. I think I was incredibly unlucky. I decided, because I have this lung condition, LAM, which is very rare, I knew that if I got it, I would be in trouble. So I thought, I'll go away, stay away from everybody, I'll self-isolate in my caravan. But I'd already contracted it because as soon as I got there, I started feeling iller and iller.
I'm really missing home and my Eden. And everybody.
You were really missing your family and your granddaughter in particular, weren't you?
Yes, I still really, really miss her. I have videos sent to me of her. I didn't have the energy to speak to people or FaceTime people, so it's scary and lonely.
You've had loads of good wishes sent to you via Facebook, and obviously it has been everywhere in the media. How do you feel about the people who reached out to you?
Absolutely amazing. I can't begin to tell you. I've had thousands and thousands of people, and still daily from all over the world, people are responding to my video, and it's lovely. It's a lovely feeling.
I mean, you work for the NHS, but you were there having that care. What was that like?
They were absolutely amazing. It was unknown territory to them as well. They were short-staffed. People had gone off self-isolating. I think some of them were scared, as everybody was, but they were brilliant, and their main aim was to make us all feel okay and look after us. They are amazing, all of them. Welton Ward, Lincoln County Hospital, fantastic. Well, they saved my life.
Wow. Sharon Cook speaking there about her recovery from the virus, her speedy recovery, and how different she looks. And those pictures, which you have to remember, is only 2 weeks ago. But tonight, what's your experience if you've been tested positive in hospital and have recovered? What was it like? And even if you haven't had a test but convinced you've had it, what has it been like? Your stories, if you've had or got the virus at the moment. I'd like to hear from you. We'll be reading some a little bit later on. Also, what do you think about the current lockdown restrictions as well? The right way to combat the spread of the virus? You can get in touch, usual ways. Look North at bbc.co.uk is the email. 81333, start the text with the word Look North if you want to go on text, or if you want to tweet me, I'll get it straight away here in the studio. Peter_Levy, tweet now. I look forward to hearing from you, your experiences. Now, we're constantly being told to stay at home to save lives, but what if staying home and keeping away from hospital is actually harming our health? Hospitals across our area are reporting a 50% drop in attendances at accident and emergency departments, and there are growing fears that some people could be risking their lives and by storing up medical problems for the future. Our health correspondent Vicky Johnson reports.
The coronavirus has done what countless public appeals have failed to do. It's driving us away from our emergency departments. They're now seeing half the people they usually do, and staff are concerned.
We're really worried that there's potentially people out there who are not seeking the help and medical attention that they need, and when they need it, that they might be delaying coming as well.
Helen has cancer and was suffering complications from an abscess. She was frightened about going to A&E, but says if she hadn't, she could have died.
I knew I should have gone into hospital sooner than I did, but through fear of catching the virus, I didn't until it was nearly too late. Luckily, I got there in time, but people are dying from fear.
But delays getting to hospital are costing lives, as Sarah Fletcher from Lincolnshire's Health Watch knows from personal experience.
Their illness had actually progressed to sepsis, and unfortunately they didn't live. And they didn't need to leave it that long. My message to you all must be, if you need medical help because you think something's going wrong, please, please go out there and get that help.
Emergency doctors say if you think you need urgent treatment, then you should still attend.
We've set the hospital up so that we can receive patients both with suspected coronavirus and those requiring emergency medical treatment that haven't got coronavirus.
The advice then from our A&E departments is that while we might be in lockdown, we're certainly not locked out.
Our message would be that we are open, as usual, 24/7, so that if you or your child or somebody you care for needs emergency treatment, we're here to help. The government guidance is really clear that you can and absolutely should leave your home to seek medical attention as you need it.
There we are, the message nice and clear. If you are unwell, the hospitals are still open and they need to see you. Hospitals across our area reporting a 50% drop in attendances at A&E. Now, lockdown, that may be tough for many of us, but amongst the hardest hit, of course, have been businesses forced to close and the workers, including the self-employed, who find themselves without any income. Well, after the government extended restrictions for at least another 3 weeks, Philip Norton has been catching up with some of those most affected.
Empty town and city centres, just a few essential businesses remain open. The majority the result of years of blood, sweat, tears and untold sacrifice, closed. Before the lockdown last month, we spoke to a number of small business owners. One of them was Des.
If the government were to give a clear directive and we felt that there was a support network in place so that small businesses like myself don't go under, I think that would help me sleep at night.
Now at home, he's also recovering after contracting coronavirus.
The government introduced all the measures that they did for small businesses like myself. That has given me that bolster that I need whilst the business is in shutdown. So, yeah, that was a massive reassurance for me. But I do know that there are other businesses, small businesses that have they're in no man's land.
We first heard from chiropodist Lisa Ward on the 20th of March.
It would be really nice if we could access the benefits system easier.
Over the next week, and after big online queues, she found out she didn't qualify for Universal Credit Help. But now she's had better news.
It appears that I'm entitled to the government self-employment scheme. I'm luckier than most. I hopefully will still have a business to go back to. I've been in touch with most of my clients, and we're all looking forward to the day when things get back to normal and I can get back into work.
The government brought in a raft of support measures for businesses, including a furlough scheme which covers 80% of employees' wages, and similar help too for the self-employed based on profits. Councils in our area have so far distributed payouts of more than £150 million in business grants. They've been paid out to more than 13,000 small businesses, with local authorities processing applications on a daily basis. Help too for those who find themselves out of work. This website by East Riding of Yorkshire Council now offering jobs in the care sector.
You don't need any qualifications, you just need a good heart, kindness, considerate, caring. That's who we want to hear from to support the great effort working with all our partners across our county to keep our loved ones with care and support at this really, really anxious and worrying time, Phil.
The furlough scheme has today been extended until June, but uncertainty for businesses is likely to last much longer. Philip Norton, BBC Look North.
Going to be so much interest in this. I would just say, if you are a business or if you're a worker and you're worried about the future and you've got any questions about the virus and how it's affected your work or will affect in the future, and the government's measures as well to help businesses, then send them to us and we'll be putting them to an expert next week on the programme. If you're worried about your job or your employer's business, your questions, and we'll be doing those questions on employment and jobs next week on the programme. The email address is there, the usual email address, the text number, the usual text number 81333. Contact us on social media, and as I say, be answering your questions on different topics all next week. But certainly businesses and employment. So get the questions in. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be talking about it one night next week. £10 million has been made available for the fishing and shellfish industry today to help businesses cope with the impact of coronavirus. Cash grants will be available through a fisheries support scheme, but one fisherman's representative says it isn't a remedy for all. The Environment Secretary says the government has recognised that it needs to help fishermen, particularly off the East Yorkshire coast.
Well, we recognise that those fishermen coming off the Yorkshire coast, particularly those targeting shellfish, but also some of the other smaller inshore vessels on whitefish, have been badly affected. We know that sales are down by approximately 70% for some species, and we want to help them cover their fixed costs.
The Environment Secretary, George Eustace. Hull Truck Theatre has announced today that they will remain closed until the 31st of July. The venue have said that they're working with visiting companies to reschedule their forthcoming productions. More information on individual shows can be found at the theatre's website. Theatre reopens not before the 31st of July. 3 men have died in separate accidents on the roads in Lincolnshire. The crashes all happened yesterday. A 33-year-old man died at the scene of a collision on the A15 at Dunsby Hollow near Cranwell. An 81-year-old man was killed in an accident in East Heckington, and a 68-year-old cyclist died after he was involved in a collision with a lorry at Deeping Common. Well, Lincolnshire Police have described the deaths as a dark day on the county's roads. Now, things weren't tough enough under the government restrictions at the moment. Some homes in Louth found themselves without water this morning. Anglian Water sent several 9,000-litre tankers to the town after a water main burst. Engineers were sent to fix the problems. Thank you for watching. 13 minutes to 7 is the time. Keep the pictures coming in. Tonight's is an unusual one. I've had a few just recently. We did last night as well. This was taken by Valerie Langham. It's in a field somewhere near Hornsey, a straw bale bear with a very good message of stay safe. Thank you very much indeed, Valerie. Another picture on Monday night around about the same time. Now, Abby Dewhurst is here. Abby, good evening to you.
Hi, Peter. Yeah, we've been spending a bit more time online, haven't we, just in this partial lockdown. And I saw a tweet by somebody, actually, the other night that stated that she wanted a tattoo of you.
I saw that last night. She wants a tattoo of me. It's fine saying that at the moment, isn't it, when you can't possibly go to a tattoo artist? She's all talk.
Oh, I see. You're daring her to do it, are you?
Yeah, well, if she's watching, if you have it done when this is all over, let us know first and we'll send a camera.
Do not do it. Don't do it. Pre or post haircut, that's what I'm thinking. Right, anyway, the headline, it's going to turn just a little bit more unsettled over the next 24 hours. It'll be cloudier tomorrow. We'll have a few showers too. But then we've got a big area of high pressure sat to the northeast of the UK and it's not budging. All of next week looks dry, settled. We'll see plenty of sunshine. And yes, it's going to feel a bit cooler tomorrow, but the temperatures will slowly recover. Just a little bit breezier though, I think, as we start next week. So cooler along the east coast. This is the satellite then from earlier today. We've had plenty of blue sky, plenty of sunshine. There's been a little bit more cloud around than what we've seen in recent days, and that will start to gradually build through this evening and overnight, where we could see a few showers in the south west of the region. Further north though, it looks to stay dry, but we can't rule out a couple of showers anywhere. Temperatures dropping to about 4 or 5 Celsius, so a frost-free night. Now, in terms of high waters, we're looking at 3:58 for Grimsby first thing tomorrow morning, and then again at 10 to 4 in the afternoon. So it is going to be a cloudier start to the day tomorrow, and we'll have some fairly frequent and at times heavy showers in the south. But as you can see, these will fizzle out through the day, making their way gradually up towards the north. I think here, though, it will stay largely dry. Temperatures around about 11 or 12 Celsius, but cooler and fresher along the coast in a chilly breeze. But that area of high pressure I showed you earlier is really leaving us with a decent outlook. There'll be plenty of dry weather, plenty of sunshine, and temperatures will return back to the mid-teens, I think, on Sunday, and stay that way as we start next week. It will gradually just start to get that little bit warmer, I think, as we head towards the middle and then the end of the week. But other than a couple of showers tomorrow, there really isn't any rain in the forecast. We've had plenty of dry weather through the whole of April. It's just worth noting the breeze strengthening through Monday and Tuesday. That will add a bit of a chill along the coast, Peter.
Her name is Emily Rose, so she might be watching. You never know.
Emily, please don't do it. You will regret it.
She's all talk. She's all talk. Have a nice evening.
Thanks. Thank you.
This time last night, I showed you this picture. Now, it was Faith who designed this T-shirt, and her dad Terry printed them. Well, since yesterday, she's been selling them. They've raised over £700 for the ICU unit at Hull Royal, which is absolutely amazing. So well done. Congratulations to Faith and to Terry. Now, Scunthorpe United chairman Peter Swan wants to suspend players' wages while there are no games in order for the clubs to survive the coronavirus pandemic. However, he's defended his comments amid criticism from the former England international Gary Neville, who's branded them disgusting. Matt Dean has more.
The lavish lifestyles of some of English football's wealthiest players. But that's not how it is for those in our part of the world, where there's a call for help from the lower leagues.
The league suspended, so surely the sense is that the players' contracts are suspended until the league restarts. It's a very, very simple ask.
Those comments have been called disgusting by the former England international Gary Neville today. However, Peter Swan says he's been misunderstood. The Scunthorpe United chairman has also revealed to BBC Look North that his club is in the process of joining Lincolnshire neighbours Grimsby Town in furloughing their players to cope in the crisis. The picture is different elsewhere though. Hull City have yet to reach an agreement with their players over a proposed 20% pay cut or deferral of wages whilst talks continue. And negotiations are ongoing at Lincoln City, where only non-playing staff have so far been furloughed.
You would hope very much so that football clubs are not going to go out of business, because we want all of our football clubs and National League clubs to remain as they are. The mechanics of business state and represent that it's going to be quite difficult for some unless more is done to help them.
You've heard it said, I've heard it said, that footballers are greedy. How would you respond to that right now?
The frustration for everybody is that it seems that players are greedy, but they've got a contract. And I'm not blaming the players, I'm not isolating the players. It's the biggest cost. And if they want jobs going forward, there have to be clubs here to give them jobs. I don't know whether they understand the severity of what's happening.
In an open letter from the EFL to supporters today, their chairman Rick Parry says, "Unfortunately, I cannot tell you today when football will resume, though whenever we do return, matches are likely to be played without crowds. Plans are being drawn up to stream every remaining game live on the internet."
They're investigating at the EFL the ways of streaming games using iFollow. Obviously, Hull City have got the Tigers TV. Now, perhaps that's a way that they can placate members who are still paying.
On the pitch, we're heading for a fifth weekend without action, but no action off it in the coming weeks could end up being much more costly. Matt Dean, BBC Look North.
Thank you, Matt. As I said earlier, you've been telling us how you're coping with the restrictions. Just a few that came in after last night's programme. Sheila says, "I'd soon have another 3 weeks in isolation. People ought to just be grateful that they or their families do not contract the virus. Let's feel sorry for them instead of ourselves." And Katie writes, "Has it already been 3 weeks? I have not been bored a single second. These days have gone by so quickly," says Katie. "There's always something to do," she says, "in one's home. Tidying, sorting stuff out, weeding, sorting the garage. Another 3 weeks a problem. Let me put the question to you in a different way. Would you rather be bored a little or do you want to die? I'll give you a minute to think about it." There we are, Katie. Well, it took about 3 minutes to read it. Thank you very much indeed for that. And Rachel from Scunthorpe got in touch to say she's made up her mind that the lockdown is not going to beat her. She says, "My amazing niece, Betty Matilda, is 22 weeks old and video calls with her mother, who's my sister Polly, and our mum every day. Life is much more bearable." So we say hello not just to Auntie Rachel, but to Betty's whole family of mum and dad, Polly and Graham, and also grandma and granddad. That's Christina and Clive. I feel like I'm doing a request show these days, who are in Messingham. It's like going back to the radio days. Let's say hello to the whole family. Apparently they are all keen viewers of the programme. Now, thank you very much indeed for those. Now, as near lockdown is extended and we all face at least another 3 weeks of restrictions, communities in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire have continued to find ways to support each other. Lindsay Smith reports on just some of the communities where there is help for everyone.
For many in the sleepy coastal village of Aldborough, being isolated has always been a lifestyle choice. But when it became a national instruction, villagers leapt into action.
Christian Family Packs. We've used social media platform to promote our COVID-19 group and connect with other things like the Hey Smile Foundation through BCAN, who donated us £500 to do our food packs.
We've sent a letter out to all our residents with all the vital numbers on because we don't want anybody to get missed.
From milk to medicines, some here say they have never felt so cared for by willing volunteers.
Thank you so much.
Comforted.
Yeah, definitely comforted.
This community is great because if you do need any help, your help will be given to you straight away. But if you want to be left alone, then they're perfectly happy with that as well. Keep calm and build model railways.
3 and 5, 35.
Over in this Immingham driveway, the focus is on keeping spirits high, from bingo to exercise sessions.
I was isolated before, now I'm speaking to people I haven't seen. I know people now, it's ace.
Even when this is finished, we hope we will still have this sort of community.
In Beverley, their traffic light system has galvanised a community that was already strong.
Green is, I'm fine, there's no need to worry about me, I don't need anything. And red is, I need some shopping, I need a prescription picking up, or I need somebody to talk to. We have a group of people called the Wood Lane Wonders, and they're on a rota. I think that people feel better connected down the street now, and hopefully will feel that either they can still opt out, but actually a lot more people will actually opt in the future.
They say good can come out of bad. It's hoped this community spirit can live on when the pandemic passes. Lindsay Smith, BBC Look North.
Well, the Stanford inventor and internet star Colin Furze has thought up another solution to help deal with social distancing. Now, this is his social distance bike. It's called High Cycle. He's even taken it for a ride around Stanford to pick up some shopping and deliver it through an an upstairs window.
Now, in current circumstances, this is the perfect mode of transport. With a seat height of exactly 2 metres, which is the recommended distance we're supposed to be keeping away from each other, it's perfect.
I'd love to have a go on that. Now, every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, the nation pauses to say thank you to the healthcare workers and those on the front line in the fight against coronavirus. And last night in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, people joined forces once again. Thanks for all the videos and pictures you sent after the event. Here's just a few.
Whoever has the coronavirus, I hope they get well soon.
So lovely. Once again, thanks very much indeed for all the videos and for sending them in. Now let's have a reminder of the main national and regional headlines from the BBC. Warnings that people are dying of strokes and heart attacks because they don't want to catch coronavirus and are avoiding hospital. And an NHS worker from Lincoln whose coronavirus battle was seen around the world says she's starting to feel normal again. Tomorrow's weather, cloudy with a fresh breeze, some brighter spells lighter, likely later in the day. Top temperatures in the afternoon around 12 Celsius. 12 is 54 Fahrenheit. I was asking if anybody had corona. My husband started with symptoms, says Dawn, over 4 weeks ago, had high temperature, chronic headache, etc. I started with symptoms a few days later. We both still have no sense of smell and taste 4 weeks later. We wish we could have had a test to put our minds at risk. Never felt so poorly. Wendy says, I was confirmed positive 3 weeks ago today. Wendy says, I'm still poorly, still breathless, was rushed to hospital again this Wednesday with heart problems. I have double pneumonia and I feel so weak. Fingers crossed, Wendy, hope you feel better soon. And Bob says, I was at Lincoln County Hospital and was diagnosed with coronavirus. I had the symptoms for 10 days at home, but I couldn't take any more and rang 999, who sent me to hospital. I was put, says Bob, on 8 litres of oxygen at one point. I couldn't stand up for a few days without collapsing. It was very, very scary. Thank you very much indeed for those and for watching. Have a peaceful weekend. Look after yourself. I'll see you on Monday. Good night.